Hello and welcome to Pyramid Preview. In this short video, I'd like to share some of the highlights and insights from our recently published report looking at the global market for mobile search. As we're all aware, Google has become one of the largest and most successful internet companies of recent years, as well as a household name by providing quick, accurate, uncluttered results to searches with sponsored links clearly highlighted. With the growth and adoption of smartphones, we believe that in 2015, 1 in 4 mobile subscriptions will be using a smartphone. So strong growth in smartphones, improving 3G coverage, increasing speed of data networks, as well as the ever more availability of information and content and applications, we believe the stage is set for strong growth in mobile search. Essentially, users want quick and easy access to information wherever they are, even if they do not have access to a PC or other device. The key questions the report addresses are: how large is the search opportunity, and what is the future revenue potential? What are the key trends driving market growth, and what are their implications? What are the regional differences in terms of market size and development? And how can operators capitalize on the opportunity, and what is their positioning in the value chain? And finally, will Google dominate mobile search as it does web search? Pyramid estimates that mobile search revenues will reach around $8 billion in 2015, which is equivalent to about 13% of the total search opportunity. This is up from about $900 million in 2010, when it represented about 3% of the total search opportunity. There are a couple of important points to keep in mind with these forecasts. First of all, we expect to see web search revenues continue to grow over the next few years. 2010 alone, Google reported growth of over 28% in revenues, reaching a top line of over $30 billion. So web search continues to grow. Secondly, we believe that the total volume of mobile searches will be significantly higher than the portion of revenues. The amount of sponsored links that can be placed onto the small screen of a mobile phone is much smaller than that of a PC, and therefore the revenues are much lower per search. The report details both the preload and the post-sale market. The preload market is key and pertains to applications and settings on the handset before it's sold to the end user. Operators, handset vendors, and operating system developers have the most influence over these settings, but this varies for different smartphone platforms. These three value chain elements essentially control which search engines can be found where on a device when it is sold to the end user. At the other end of the value chain are the actual search engines themselves, the data providers, and finally the advertisers. It is important to note how different companies sit across this value chain with, for instance, Google and Microsoft present both as operating system developers and search engines, while, for instance, Apple and BlackBerry are also similar in that they are both handset vendors and operating system developers. These factors impact search engines which are preloaded and other default settings. In developed markets, it is the operators which are in a strong position because they subsidize devices and so have control over their configuration prior to delivery to the end user. This becomes less important in prepaid and SIM-only markets, where it is the handset vendors and operating system developers which have more control. This slide shows the different ways in which Orange has configured its San Francisco Android device in UK. It has preloaded its Orange Maps application and placed it on the front home screen. Google has placed its search bar, including a voice button, on the left scroll of the home screen. Orange World is also the default homepage of the Internet Connect button. In the case of a prepaid device, a handset brand such as Sony Ericsson may place its own Maps app on the front home screen, for instance. So typically, operators are well placed in highly postpaid markets as they control the last touch to the end user. However, in prepaid markets, it is rather the handset vendors which have the last touch, and they are also preloading devices with, for instance, mapping and navigation applications. There are also additional dynamics in some cases whereby, for instance, the operator and handset vendor have a commercial agreement whereby the operator agrees not to preload such that the device vendor applications are most prominent for the end user. The use of voice as a way to input data into a mobile is an important one. In August 2010, Google announced that already 25% of mobile searches were voice, although that was in US and only on 2.0 Android versions and above. Blingo, a leading developer of voice applications, also announced that search is the second most important usage of its voice application after text messaging. Its application is already preloaded on a number of Nokia and other devices. It is therefore clear that voice is a key trend, and it is also one we believe will have an important impact on the market. It will be difficult for a single company to provide quality voice recognition in all languages. Google's position of dominance, for instance, is low in some markets where language idiosyncrasies enabled local search engines to gain an edge, with examples such as Russia and Korea being prominent ones. Furthermore, it will take time to cover all languages, creating opportunities for new companies to become first movers to fill the space in the meantime. Local searches, which account for around 40% of all mobile searches, will be a very dynamic segment of the market. It is attracting many different players, creating strong competition for Google, suggesting a fragmented marketplace at least for the next few years. As you can see here, there are many different players, such as the operators and handset vendors, as we've already seen, but also some companies such as local advertising specialists whose business is being threatened by local search, and therefore they are developing their own applications and in some cases have partnered with other elements of the value chain. New startups such as Point and Yelp developing new innovative applications, and they have also had some success in terms of partnering with, for instance, Point has partnered with BlackBerry. Social networks are also increasingly used for search and for location. And there are also vertical aggregators with applications for finding a restaurant, for instance, or finding a bar, which are also finding some success. So there are a wide range of different players looking at local search and creating competition for Google and other players. Thank you for your time. If you have any further questions or want further information, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.